Budweiser Thoroughbred Digest, the weekly national report on thoroughbred racing, is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers and proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. By the Naira Net, the New York Racing Association simulcasting network. And by Lanes Inn, sponsor of the Thoroughbred Digest Trainer of the Month Award. And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln with a welcome back along the rail for our Budweiser Thoroughbred Digest show, back on our home set after 2 weeks in Kentucky. And here are the headlines for the Digest show in this second week in May. It's the filly Winning Colors, winning the 114th Kentucky Derby for D. Wayne Lucas. Gulch equals a 15-year-old New York racing record in the Carter Handicap. And Bruce Casella will be giving us a special preview of this week's Pimlico Special. Well, Dave Johnson has Horse Talk. The Axe has the Edge. A special analysis of the Kentucky Derby. All when we return on the Digest.
Budweiser and Bud Light join with USA Today to give baseball fans something new. Now, for the first time, you can also pick up an official All-Star fan ballot free wherever you pick up Bud or Bud Light. Vote for your favorite Major League players. Then, test your baseball trivia and win valuable prizes.
Answers are in USA Today every day.
So fans, settle back with a cold Bud or Bud Light. Vote for your favorite All-Stars and be part of a baseball tradition.
At Lane's End, we champion the owner-breeder, those who breed to race. We have a stallion to fit every breeding need, from leading sires like Fabiano to well-bred young prospects like Fit to Fight, and promising new sires like Manila, who were champions on the track.
Manila on the outside. Last year's grass champ gets the lead on the turf this afternoon.
Whatever your stallion needs may be, Lane's End Farm is there to fulfill them. Lane's End, Versailles, Kentucky.
The Holiday Inn Airport East, just minutes from Louisville's major sporting facilities, is home to athletic teams and fans alike. We welcome you with that famous Kentucky hospitality and class to our luxurious guest rooms and suites. The Holiday Inn Airport East, close to Churchill Downs, Cardinal Stadium, Louisville Downs, and Motor Speedway. We have it all. Health club, tennis, basketball, swimming, and fishing, all on site. We're the Holiday Inn Airport East, Louisville's winner in the hospitality race.
Winners and Calf Manna, Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner Ali Sheba, and Hall of Fame trainer Jack Van Berg.
Well, when we bought Ali Sheba as a yearling, he come to our farm in Goshen, Kentucky, went on Calf Manna with his feed, and has been on it ever since. Ali Sheba or any horse I have in my barn, you can walk up to them, and you never find a horse that will not eat it. They'll eat it plain right out of your hand. This formula has worked for me. It is the formula has worked out and going for 5,000 winners, so I'm not about to change.
Welcome back. I'm sure you know what our Breeders' Cup feature race of the week will be. Breeders' Cup Race Recap is brought to you by the Breeders' Cup, promoting thoroughbred racing year-round with the Breeders' Cup Budweiser Special Stakes Program, the Premium Awards Program, and Breeders' Cup Day, racing's $10 million championship. The Breeders' Cup feature race, the 114th running of the Kentucky Derby. There you see the added money, but with 17 entered, the purse went to $786,200, $611,200 to win. It's a mile and a quarter, the furthest these three-year-olds have ever gone in their lives. Run the first Saturday in May at Churchill Downs before more than 140,000. Or almost 140,000, should say. Let's take a look at the field. Cephas 49er at 9-2. Intensive Command Lively won at 18-1. Those are the two that are, of course, coupled in the entry. Risen Star 5-1. King Post at 16. Brian's Time at 8. Granacus at 21-1. Seeking the Goal at 15. Winning Colors, the filly 3-1. Note the weight allowance. The filly gets 5 pounds, 121 with Gary Stevens. Proper Reality 27-1 with Jerry Bailey. Jim's Orbit at 64. Private Terms, the Chris Antley was the favorite for the Kentucky Derby by just about $5,000 or $6,000. And the betting money at 3-1. Regal Classic 17-1. Then we'll take a look at the field. Bet one, you get them all. Din's Dancer, Sea-Trek, Purdue King at 17-1. There's the field, 17 to start in the 114th Kentucky Derby, as we pick up the call from ABC Sports and Dave Johnson.
And they're off. From
between horses, Din's Dancer. There goes the Roan filly, Winning Colors, grabbing the lead right from the start. Carrie Stevens sends her to the front, and she responds, taking command by a length on the far outside. Pat Bay has 49er in second. Din's Dancer is next at the rail. It's seeking the gold fourth. Then a bit of a bobbling between Sea Trek and on the outside, Purdue King. They're in tight quarters as they go to the first turn. Chris Antley looking for a bit of racing luck around the first turn. He's 5 wide with the favorite, Private Terms. Now back to the front end, and it's the filly, Winning Colors, showing the way by 3. 49er content to sit second by a half length. Seeking the Gold is third by 1. Then Din's Dancer is fourth by a head. Sea Trek on the outside fifth. Proper Reality, the winner of the Arkansas Derby, is along the inside and moving up steadily. Then comes Purdue King. Then comes Private Terms toward the inside. Regal Classic is next, followed by Jim's Orbit. After that, it's Brian's Time. Pink Post on the far outside. Then Risen Star. Then Granacus, followed by Intensive Command. Cephas is second last. And the trailer is Lively One with Bill Shoemaker. They go to the far turn, and it's still Winning Colors showing the way after the half in 46 and 4 and 3/4 when 111 and 2. And no one has challenged her yet. Along the inside, Proper Reality has gained ground and moved into second. Seeking the Gold is racing third. 49er is fourth. And Private Terms on the outside fifth as they come to the top of the stretch. She's led from the start. Every pole a winning one. And it's Winning Colors showing the way as they straighten away in the lane. Winning Colors doing it just like D-Wayne Lucas said she would. Taking command and drawing off. Now she's in front by 3. Proper Reality is second. Here comes 49er, 2-year-old champ from last year. Putting in a bid on the outside. And down the stretch they come. Winning Colors in front. Here comes 49er on the outside. Lucas and Stevens. It's a driving finish. Winning Colors by a head. Wire to wire with Gary Stevens in the iron.
Owner Gene Klein celebrates, as sure D-Wayne Lucas was too, as he broke his 0 for 12 streak at the Derby with the filly. Winning Colors in 2:02 and 1, faster than the 2 previous runnings of the Derby. And she was a Keeneland sale horse, $575,000, July 86, as Keeneland has another Kentucky Derby winner. And of course, the sire Cairo out of All Rainbows by Bold Hour. Winning Colors, the winner of the Derby, 49er second, Risen Star finishing third. Let's take now a replay look and listen in with Gary Stevens, D-Wayne Lucas, and Eugene Klein on the Derby win.
Came away from the gate very relaxed and was very relaxed until the half-mile pole. She picked it up a little bit on her own, and I asked her to run at the 3/8 pole, and she opened up a nice lead. She picked it up again at the 8th pole, and I felt very confident at the 8th pole that she was going to win. The last 50 yards or so, she started getting a little bit tired. I felt like I knew she was going to win, and was just hard containing myself for another 24 seconds or whatever. She ran 25 probably the last quarter, and I felt very confident.
When you crossed the finish line?
Thrill of a lifetime.
I don't think it's really sunk in yet. I think that I'm going to have to go home and look at it a little bit and let it sink in. We were pretty loose all week. I just felt that after watching it all spring unfold and unravel, I just felt that we were going to send the best horse over here. And I don't know. I think that we could have. I certainly could have got beat today. There's a lot that we were bucking some very big odds, and I just felt, though, that whatever was there, whatever that filly had, that she was going to go over here and run her best race. I just couldn't have changed anything in the last 120 days of her preparation. We never missed a work, a step, a grain of oat, a travel arrangement, or a work, or anything of that sort. And I think that's important in trying to win the Derby. I'm more convinced of that than ever. It's a special feeling, but I didn't dedicate it to anybody. I thought on the way walking over here and the couple days before the race that thinking of where we started at Park Jefferson, South Dakota, and running for $350 pots, and I thought if it happens to me, maybe it'll give some hope to some of these other guys that are out there and struggling with a couple of horses and hoping to get to this spot. I think that if anybody's in the game, they'll want to be here.
I've got to say, this is the biggest thrill I've ever had in sports. I think it's one of the greatest accomplishments, all due to the efforts of Wayne Lucas. Wayne is the man that bought the filly, trained the filly, did everything. He deserves all the credit. And we all know that there are about 50,000 foals born every year, and only one foal can win the Kentucky Derby, and we're lucky enough to own the filly that has won the Kentucky Derby. And I just can't tell you how happy Joyce and I are. It's just going to take some time to really sink in. I know we've won the Derby, but I'm not quite sure I believe it until I see the film over and over and over and over again.
Well, Winning Colors becomes the latest millionaire winner, and you see of 35 fillies that have run in the Kentucky Derby, she is only the third to have won. Our congratulations to the entire Klein, Lucas, and Stevens outfit. Congratulations on a great Derby victory. We'll be back with more still on the Kentucky Derby and more racing around the nation when we return.
For the real insight on thoroughbred racing, call 1-800-255-2001 for your home videotape on how to win at Thoroughbred Racing, a video guide. Experts Chris Lincoln and Charles E. Kenny take you through a discussion of proven handicapping theories with visual examples of how they work. Perfect for the racing fan at any level to know and understand more about thoroughbred racing. Only $24.95 plus $4 shipping and handling. Have your Visa or MasterCard ready and call 1-800-255-2001 now.
When you need the latest news and statistics concerning the thoroughbred industry, Thoroughbred Times is the source to turn to. Every week, Thoroughbred Times delivers insightful commentaries, detailed racing coverage, and the most up-to-date statistics available in the industry. Whether your interest in racing is purely sport or business, Thoroughbred Times is the source for news and information. Call now to begin your subscription to the thoroughbred industry's best value in publishing. Thoroughbred Times.
U.S. Open champion Lisa Wagner leads the field as America's top lady bowlers try to strike it rich. It's the WIBC Queens Tournament, Saturday afternoon at 3 Eastern, live on the ESPN.
Bruce Casella back from Churchill Downs. Now, Bruce, there were 1 filly, 16 colts. What happened to all the boys?
Well, Chris, there's a lot of strategy involved in running a horse in the Kentucky Derby, and we need to take a look at one of the favorites here. Here's 49er. You see him on the outside there, trying to relax the horse is Pat Day, and here he comes down the stretch for a rally.
Day, a big finish by 49, just came up short. Now, Woody Stevens has said, I'm going to try something different for the Preakness. I'm going to take the lead. I can beat any colt in America. If I finish last, Winning Colors will finish next to last. Woody Stevens challenging in the Preakness already.
All right, then we take a look at Private Terms coming up here. He's 5 wide on the first turn here. Private Terms, 5 wide. That could have been costly.
The betting favorite, now remember, the betting favorite has not won since, of course, Spectacular Bid in 1979.
And there you see Private Terms Chris Antley trying to settle the horse and try to gain position there, and here he comes down the stretch.
The 9th consecutive favorite in a Kentucky Derby who was not able to get there.
Just not enough there to go the 1.25 miles for Private Terms.
Tremendous effort, though, by Winning Colors, and the filly holds off 49er, and all the boys end up behind. And, Bruce, it really is interesting. When you look back at that Kentucky Derby, D. Wayne Lucas told everybody what he was going to do, went out and did it.
I can't believe, though, that they let the filly get out like that. You know, that was probably costly for 49er.
Well, we'll take a look at the complete official order of finish now for the 114th Kentucky Derby. You've talked about the top 3, Prop Reality, Regal Classic, and Brian's Time. Seeking the goal, Cephas, there's the favorite. Private Terms finishing 9th. Jim's Orbit, Granacus, Lively One finishing 12th with Charlie Winningham. Jack Van Berg, who won it last year, finished 13th this year with Din's Dancer. King Post, Intensive Command, and then Purdue King and Sea-Trek was last in the Derby. Well, believe it or not, there were some other big races around the country, and of course Bruce Casella along here now to take a look at a record-breaking performance in New York on our Breeders' Cup race recap.
Our Breeders' Cup race recap starts in Kentucky and Churchill Downs. It's the 114th running of the Kentucky Oaks, a Grade 1 event for the top fillies in the country. The favorite is the Charlie Winningham entry of Goodbye Halo and Jeannie Jones.
And Colonial Waters, the Bud Longshot, is making up ground stride by stride. And Goodbye Halo saves ground and now angles up between horses. There at the top of the stretch, Jeannie Jones leads ahead. Will on the move is second. On the outside, here comes Goodbye Halo. 3 of them across the track, and down the stretch they come. Inside the 8th pole, it's Goodbye Halo saying goodbye to this field. Pat Day aboard with a left-handed whip, draws off to lead it by 2.
And it's Goodbye Halo easily in the 1988 Oaks. Stablemate Jeannie Jones ran second. Willa on the Move finished third. Goodbye Halo was ridden by Pat Day and is by Halo out of Pound Foolish. The 3-year-old was purchased at Keeneland in July of 1986 for $47,000. Let's move to the Louisville Budweiser Breeders' Cup now. $150,000 added for fillies and mares 3 years old and up. The favorite is By Land, By Sea.
Bound is racing in the second spot as they turn for home. There's a quarter of a mile to go. It's the favorite, By Land, By Sea. Now drawing off to lead it by 2. Bound tries to close the gap, but to no avail. And down the stretch they come into the final furlong. By Land, By Sea, drawing off now to a 4-length advantage. Bound with Eddie Maple asking for more, but not catching the leader. Here's the finish of the Louisville Budweiser's Breeders' Cup.
And it's By Land, By Sea, by many at Churchill Downs. Bound got there for second. Best of Both Worlds ran third. By Land, By Sea is by Sauceboat out of Like a Train and is trained by Gary Jones. More big races at the historic Churchill Downs. It's the Early Times Turf Classic. The favorite is Yankee Affair.
Spellbound on the rail, leads way ahead. On the outside, first, Patriot is second. Here comes Yankee Affair, gaining in third. Blazing Bart with a quick burst of speed on the outside, and Creme Fraiche toward the rail. And down the stretch they come. First, Patriot takes command under a drive by 1. Now Yankee Affair. Blazing Bart on the inside. Yucca looks for racing room. What a finish here. They come to the wire, and it's going to be Yankee Affair with Pat Day.
And the favorite, Yankee Affair, comes on in the stretch and gets there first. Second was Yucca. First, Patriot ran third. Yankee Affair is by Northern Fling out of My Matchin and is trained by Henry Carroll. More racing from the Downs now. It's the Capital Holding Twin Spires, a race for 3-year-olds. The favorite is Bowie.
It's 5 back to Hatcher Hill, and Longview Ashley is the trailer as they move to the top of the stretch. Heads apart on the front end. Foolish Intent on the outside, again to the front by a head. Cougar Eyes cuts the corner and now takes the lead again. 3/16 of a mile to go, and 5 of them are across the track. Cougar Eyes at the rail. Foolish Intent on the outside. Here comes Bowie moving through between horses with a rush. And down the stretch they come. It's Bowie taking command, drawing off by 2 lengths. Pat Day aboard. It's the Roan Colt Bowie in front as Frosty the...
And it's Bowie with Pat Day. Second was Frosty the Snowman. Cougar Eyes ran third. Bowie is by Blue Ensign out of Mop Mop and is trained by Joe Valero. To New York now, an Aqueduct racetrack. The final weekend of racing for the spring. It's the Carter Handicap, and the favorite is a Fleet.
Gulch continues to lead by a head. It's Academic on the outside, challenging that lead. Behind those 2, Stacked Pack, then a Fleet, King Swan, and Prospector's Halo. Love that Mac on the far outside. There in the stretch. Gulch on the rail. It's Academic. Continue to vie for the lead. Stacked Pack third by Anak. Gaining ground is a Fleet. A Fleet now moves into third. They pass the 8th pole. 3/4, 8 and 2. And Gulch has the lead by about a length and a half. A Fleet is second. Then it's Academic. Gulch leads to the wire.
And it's Gulch running the second fastest 7 furlongs in New York thoroughbred history with a time of 1 minute, 20 2/5 of a second, tying the stakes record set by King's Bishop in 1973, and was a 1/5 of a second off the track record set by Dr. Fager in 1968. Second was a Fleet. It's Academic ran third. Gulch, carrying 124 pounds, is by Mr. Prospector out of Jamila and is trained by D. Wayne Lucas.
Quite a weekend for D. Wayne Lucas. Like I said, Gulch was a record. That was a record-equaling performance in the Carter, tying a 15-year-old record. But now, Bruce, immediately everybody turns the attention to the next step of the Triple Crown, the Preakness.
The Preakness, and it should be a pretty competitive field. Let's take a look at that. The first 7, all from the Derby field. Winning colors, 49er Regal Classic, Risen Star, Brian's Time, Private Terms, Din's Dancer, Trap Line, 4 of 6 starts running today at Pimlico. Finder's Choice, 7th in the Garden State Stakes, and Tejano was 4th in the Wood. Tejano could be competitive and tough in the Preakness field, Chris.
And I don't think they'll let Winning Colors get out by herself in the Preakness. We'll find out, though, in a couple of weeks. When we come back, we'll have Horse Talk with Dave Johnson and the former Derby winning rider.
Budweiser and Bud Light join with USA Today to give baseball fans something new. Now, for the first time, you can also pick up an official All-Star fan ballot, free wherever you pick up Bud or Bud Light. Vote for your favorite Major League players. Then, test your talent for baseball trivia and win valuable prizes.
Okay, maybe... maybe not.
You like this guy at third? How about this...
No, come on.
Do you, What National League catcher played 11 consecutive All-Stars?
Says here it was me.
Johnny Bench!
Hey, how you doing?
Answers are in USA Today every day. So to fans everywhere, settle back with a cold Bud or Bud Light. Vote for the players you want to see in the All-Star game. And be part of a baseball tradition.
Delivery. Swing and a shot into right center field may not be caught.
The gates are open at Belmont Park, and the summer stakes season is here. Get in on the excitement by joining the New York Racing Association's simulcasting network. Make your track's racing program more attractive by offering your fans a chance to bet on the best horses in training. Bring New York's classic races to your facility. Whether it's the Belmont or the Brooklyn, the NYRA Simulcasting Network has something for you. Call us today.
If you don't read the Wall Street Journal, you're saving a little time when you could be investing it.
Call 800-372-3000 for this great journal subscription offer. 13 weeks for just $29.75 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.75. Phone 800-372-3000 now for the Wall Street Journal.
When you're talking horses in Kentucky, the name Don Brumfield has to come up because he is the winningest rider in the history of Churchill Downs. As we record this, about 900 wins. I'm sure he's going to reach 1,000, but 2 of those wins, Don, I think would be interesting to our fans. On one weekend in 1966, you won the Kentucky Oaks with Native Street and the Kentucky Derby with Cowie King. First of all, let's talk about the filly. Remember her?
Yes, sir. I got the mount on her at Gulfstream Park one day because Shoemaker went to play golf, and I picked the mount up.
Just fate, then?
Yeah, it was lucky.
But then the next afternoon on Cowie King, it all came together for you, didn't it?
Yes, sir, it did. He ran a very good race, and we were fortunate that there were 2 really good horses, Buck Passer and Graustark, that were, 3-year-olds that year, and each one of them had something happen to them, and so we wound up winning the Derby.
But your name goes into the record book. It doesn't matter about Graustark and the other horse. But what do you remember specifically about the Cowie King Derby?
Well, the most important thing I remember is I worked him on Derby day, on Derby trial day, and he worked a mile and 39. And when I was working him, he took a little breather from, right around the 3/8 pole, and come on and finish the last quarter of a mile up good. And so he did the same thing in the Derby. As a matter of fact, it looked like they was going to catch him, but they never did.
You were confident then going into the Kentucky
I was pretty
Derby.
confident, yeah.
The Derby has really changed a little bit, though, since 1966. It seems to get more media attention.
It gets a lot more media attention. This is a whole lot more money, too.
Are you looking forward to riding in a few more Kentucky Derbies, Don?
Yes, I am.
So, now, even though you're 8 years younger than Shoe, you're not planning on retiring, are you?
I don't have any plans for it unless I can find a job that pays as good as the one I got.
Don, also the enormous respect that the industry has for you. This year at Santa Anita, you were given the George Wolfe Award. What'd that mean to you?
That meant a great deal to me. I really appreciate them giving me that award. I feel like that's as high an honor as you can get when your peers vote for you on something like that.
Still fun to come to the races every day?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's not as easy as it used to be, but I still enjoy it.
We enjoyed having you here on Horse Talk with Don Brumfield, the king of the hill at Churchill Downs. More Horse Talk next week.
Our Trainer of the Month update, the first week of May. Well, the story is D. Wayne Lucas. Lucas, in the first week, won 6 stakes, 3 Grade 1s, 1 Grade 3, 3 at Churchill Downs, 2 at Aqueduct, and 1 at Hollywood. D. Wayne Lucas, the leader so far. Well, the Pimlico Special is coming up this weekend. 6 horses entered. Creme Fraiche will not be there, but we have 5 millionaires, a field that totals more than $11 million, and Bruce Casella takes a closer look at the Pimlico Special.
The 1988 version of the Pimlico Special is of superstar quality. Last year's Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner Ali Sheba leads the way as the highweight with 127 pounds.
I believe if he could talk, he'd just tell you there's nobody can outrun him. He can do what he wants to do, and he just so mentally, he wants, even in the mornings out there when a horse goes by, he wants to just gallop past him and then look back at him. And it's just, thank the good Lord he stayed sound like he is, and we just hope he can stay that way all year.
Then there's Lost Code at 126 pounds, a 4-year-old that has the racing world in awe with his ability to carry speed and distance.
With Cody's speed, they got me to catch.
I guess you wouldn't trade this colt for any of the others.
Well, he's something special to me.
Last year's Belmont winner Bet Twice is back after a long layoff. The 4-year-old has 2 starts this spring with a first and a second. He carries 124 pounds.
He's come back very, very well, and he's much better mentally than he was this time last year, I think.
The handicap division is deep this year. A lot of good ones in it.
Yes, they are. It's a good crowd.
You ready to take them on?
We're going to try them.
Should be a great race. The Axe back with the edge from Kentucky next.
Thoroughbred Sports Home Video wants to introduce you to the world of horse racing with How to Win at Thoroughbred Racing, a video guide. The most ambitious home videotape ever produced on horse racing from the people who bring you more thoroughbred racing on network TV than anyone else. Experts Chris Lincoln and Charles E. Canty take you to the nation's racing centers from coast to coast with a discussion of proven handicapping theories, instruction in such important variables as class, conditioning, and money management. Details of how handicapping theories work, as well as how to read and understand the daily racing form. With a Thoroughbred Sports stamp of quality, How to Win at Thoroughbred Racing is an easy way for the racing fan at any level to learn more about the sport of kings. Just $24.95 plus $4 shipping and handling. Call now, 1-800-255-2001. Have your Visa or MasterCard ready. That's 1-800-255-2001 for your home VHS or beta tape on How to Win at Thoroughbred Racing, a video guide.
ESPN is now the proud home of Motor Week Illustrated, America's first and foremost weekly racing news show. Keep pace with the racing action on television's fastest half hour. If it goes fast, catch it on Motor Week Illustrated.
Amid the splendor of the bluegrass, you tend to get a little overwhelmed with sheer numbers. The stallions are worth millions. The yearlings will be sold for millions. You can just get carried away with all these figures. But it's also fun, whenever you're in Kentucky, to think back to the days of the scufflers, when this kind of money wasn't around, and how they made it. Johnny Madden comes to mind, the wizard of the turf. At the turn of the century, Marcus Daly, the copper baron of the time, went up to him. He was holding a colt, and he said, "Sir, do you own that colt?" Madden said, "That depends, sir, whether you want to buy him or attach him." He ended up selling the colt for $40,000, then a record, bought a place named after the colt, Hamburg Place. Well, you may have heard that in the news just recently. It's a place where a horse called Ali Sheba was born. Colonel Edward Riley Bradley, similar stories. He used to sit around on his porch and bet anyone that a given yearling wouldn't make the races. He'd give them even money. He cashed most of those bets. You can go on and on, all the stories of Kentucky, and for every one of these multi-million-dollar horses that make it, you think of some of the others who were by more obscure sires, maybe didn't cost a lot of money, but still went to glory. Carryback comes to mind. Of course, Spendabuck, now one of the major forces at this farm at Lane's End, is another horse that went from very little to a lot. But, you know, as Joe Palmer once wrote, for all those great stories about the horses that come from nowhere, well, the truth is, for every ugly duckling that grows up to become a swan, most of them just grow up to become ugly ducks. This is the Axe, hoping to avoid the ugly ones and looking for an edge.
Thank you, Axe, and we'll hope you enjoyed our Kentucky Derby wrap-up show thanks to WLKY in Louisville and ABC Sports. See you next week. Budweiser Thoroughbred Digest, the weekly national report on thoroughbred racing, has been brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. By ManaPro, the official sponsor of the United States Equestrian Team, proud to be part of the gold medal tradition. And by the Breeders' Cup, racing's $10 million championship. Statistics courtesy of the Daily Racing Form. This has been an ESPN Sports presentation.